Unnamed Memory episode 3. And even before I start, the review, I just want to mention that if I sound a little bit different than usual, it's because I currently have a cold. So yeah, sorry for that. Sorry if I'm bothering you with my voice in any way. I just wanted to mention that in case you thought there was another person reviewing this, episode review. It is nothing like that. It is just me with a cold. So yeah, fun fact, this is actually my second time recording this review. The first time I was recording with the wrong, mic and it sounded awful. So hopefully in this second review I remember all the things I said in the first review. Hopefully I don't forget anything. So yeah, this episode was actually a very weird one. It was a weird one, but not in a bad way. Actually it was very good. It was weird for multiple reasons. First of all, I didn't expect actually this episode to give us Tinasha and Oscar getting closer together. I was definitely not expecting that. I was maybe expecting it in the 6th, 7th episode or even in the last episode, but not this early. That was something that surprised me a lot, seeing it in this episode. Tinasha and Oscar getting really closer, especially by the end of the episode. We see how Tinasha and Oscar are hugging each other, are really close together. And yeah, I guess that was the big surprise, at least to me. I don't know about you all. I guess that was able to happen because of the witch of the Forbidden Forest, Lucrezia, I think that is her name or something like that. So yeah, the main event, the main thing that happened in this episode was because of her. And just the fact that we got introduced to her in this episode was another huge surprise, because I didn't expect to get introduced to another witch this early on. I thought that maybe that was going to happen again, maybe later or something like that, but I guess not. And it's actually really surprising that this witch too is actually very nice. It's actually a good witch. I mean, the actions that she took in this episode, maybe some people may say that were bad, that they were not good, but I don't think that way, because I think that the thing she did in this episode was, in order for Tinasha and Oscar to get closer together. And it actually worked, because again, at the end of the episode, we see that they actually got closer together. And yeah, I guess she did that because she knew that Tinasha sooner rather than later was going to figure out that it was her, Lucrezia, the one that was behind all of this. So with that in mind, she did all of that. She I don't know how you can say it, bewitched or something like that, Oscar. And actually this witch of the Forbidden Forest, Lucrezia, is very different than Tinasha. She's not a fighter per se like Tinasha is. She's very different. She's the type of witch that is more focused on making potions and things like that. She's not necessarily a fighter like Tinasha is. So yeah, I guess you can say that each witch has their personality. This witch is a little bit different than Tinasha, and I would assume the other witches are definitely different than these two. So yeah, that is a pleasant surprise, because it means that the witches are not going to be copies of each other. So yeah, that is always good. And I would suppose that the other two witches are not going to be good. Maybe they're going to be somewhere in the middle, not necessarily bad but also evil. I mean, we know that the witch of silence, I think that is her name or something like that, is, I would assume, evil or not necessarily the nicest, witch, because I mean she did curse, a Oscar. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, at least her of the remaining three doesn't seem to be that nice. I don't know how the other two will pan out, but I would assume, like I said before, somewhere in the middle. So yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see for that, to be revealed. And I mean, yeah, the other big surprise that we saw in this episode were little small details that were mentioned in the episode. For example, we learned that the witches are now born, witches. We learned that they actually, I guess you can say, become witches somewhere in the middle of their lives, because it was mentioned, I think it was by Lucrezia, that before Tinasha was not actually a witch. So I would assume she was a human or something like that, and then she became a witch. I don't know how that process works. So yeah, it is not necessarily that they are born witches. It is something different. And I mean, I wonder if it's the same for the other witches too, which I would assume it is, but I mean, who knows. Another thing that was mentioned by Lucrezia was how Tinasha is not able to get necessarily into a relationship with another person, because I think she mentions that Tinasha is sort of a spirit witch or something like that, and for her to not lose her powers, she basically has to be pure always. So basically getting into a relationship, getting married and things like that basically makes her impure, and because of that she may become, weak. And Oscar realizes this, and it's kind of, I guess you can say, worry for her, because maybe all these things he has been making until now, proposing to her and things like that, were not actually very good, because now that he knows that Tinasha will get weaker if she gets into a real relationship with someone, maybe doing all those sort of things now in hindsight was not necessarily the best thing he could have done. But I mean, who knows, maybe he will be back to his usual way going forward. So So yeah, but yeah, that was basically everything that happened in the episode. A little short review talking about the most important parts. Hopefully I didn't forget anything important. But yeah, if you don't want to miss any episode reviews, please subscribe to the channel. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. And yeah, that will be everything by me, and I guess I'll see you all in the next episode review.